back in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon and good evening. Hello, everybody. I am Brick Something, and we are joined today by Alan Hops, as it says there under that man's face. Hello, Alan.
Howdy. I'm putting all my stuff away. I tend to fiddle, so I'm getting all my
keep them there. Keep them there. You can show us. Yeah, that's part of your. That's what people want to see. People want to know what's on your desk, what you're doing, because this guy. You may know Alan from also known on Instagram as Vine Jungle Figure Factory. Whew, that's a mouthful. Mm-hmm. And there's that thing on his shirt. That is, folks, a character named Beastman that he's kind of into. So we can start there in a little bit after we say hello to folks. But Alan is dope. We're going to learn from Alan. But let's just hear how you're doing. How are you doing on a human level, Alan?
If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Sweet.
It's life is good. Life is busy, but life is good. I have a kind of a personal vow that I did like a few years back where if someone asks you how you're doing, you cannot answer with I'm tired.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say I'm fine because that's one I went over, but you can't say I'm tired. Okay. Tell me more.
I'm tired, I think, is the standard answer, you know?
Okay.
Fine is probably, at least in my industry,
sure.
Fine is probably, the most popular lie. But yeah. I'm truly awesome. I'm coming off of a week where we did a big, massive project at work, and we did a big install for it. And then we installed on Thursday. We got finished with the install at like 7:15, and the party started at 8 p.m. So that was nice and tight. The light guys were still working, but I was done. And then the next morning, we're back in at 9 a.m. and we had it out of there by 12:30. So that was.
Can you share? I don't know how much you can share. You were telling me offline, but can you kind of share like what you were doing? Give people a
absolutely.
sense.
So,
and can I show that video or no?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Cool. I'm going to go back a little bit. I own Dark Hour Haunted House in Plano, Texas. Yes. I've been in the haunt industry for a long time. And a group came through the haunt and really loved our set design and decor and said, can you help us do it for a party? Build us some decor, some photo ops, and that kind of stuff. And that was 3 years ago. And every year now, the Dallas Bears, this weekend in Dallas, is a major AIDS research benefit fundraiser. And there's several events around that. And Bear Dance is one of them. And the Bear Dance guys, we helped their decor for their party. This year's theme was Gods and Gladiators. And we literally built the Coliseum.
Woo!
So what you're seeing right there is one part of it. That's 2 panels on top of each other that are 7 foot by 4 foot. And so it's 14 feet high and it's 120 feet around this Coliseum. We also installed 5 or 6 different photo ops, like, fighting a lion and that kind of stuff. So
love it.
This was party decor and there was nothing to attach it to. So the challenge was figuring out how to get it up there and how to make it live. And, it's all styrofoam, but it survived the night.
So for folks, we often talk about customizing and building dios. As I put in the description, this guy does 112, does a little bit of 1/6, does a little bit of 1-to-1. This is 1-to-1 essentially.
Well, that's about 1/3 scale in all honesty.
I guess it's a little small. Okay,
Coliseum, each of those arches, they're like 21 feet.
Okay, but he does do 1-to-1. If you saw the thumbnail with the Minotaur, I think that's probably a life-size Minotaur that this
that Minotaur is
man
7.5 feet. Yeah.
helped create. So we're going to talk about his amazing creative work. I just love that this was like, this is just this week. You told me you worked a 70-hour work week, and then he wakes up today to hang out with Curtis Ackerman to to paint and do custom painting with him and Low Fidelity, whose like work is also amazing. Low Fidelity Customs. And those three were painting all day. And then I think you stopped for lunch and then hopped on here. So I salute you. And I'm glad you're here. And I'm really down to like, I really want to dig into this amazing work and all the other stuff you do. So while we're here, before we say hello to folks, hi folks, I see you're there, but I'm just excited because I'm hanging out with Alan today. So this is like, I just heard you say it's floating, but we didn't quite know, like we had to figure out how to do that. So I'm assuming like you said, it's an event. How much access do you have to this space before the event? Or was it one of those things where you couldn't get in until?
I got 2 visits to go and do measurements.
Okay. Got it.
And this is weird, but if you can see that railing behind it, it's a railing and a bunch of wires, but that's bent. So the part that sticks out the most is the middle of a bow with all those steel cables. So you can't connect directly to it because the rest of the railing's in the way. So I found like floating shelf brackets on Amazon, and I was able to attach magnets to them. And then I could magnet the bracket onto a little strip of metal that stuck out 12 inches just past the railing, set the styrofoam on that, and then each corner and each side had little tubes attached that I zip tied through. So the whole thing is zip tied together in the back. It just looks like a big, kids construction project.
And it's light. So I get that, but also it's a club, it's a dance. So like there's a lot of bass happening and a lot of movement, and it's almost not so good that it's light, right? Because
my big fear was that the nuts on the magnets would vibrate off. That was one of my big fears.
Right, it actually unscrew.
Music,
Oh man, it's so well done. So that's badass. I love it. Bear Dance, shout out to those folks, and hope they raised a lot of money.
They did. They do amazing work, and they're amazing people.
Cool. And this was in your neck of the woods. Did you say it was in Plano, or you're in Plano?
That was in Dallas. I'm in Plano. That was in Dallas.
Gotcha. Very cool. Did I ever tell you I spent some time in Plano? Believe it or not. And people
you did mention that. Yeah.
I played there a long time ago. A little tiny club. But yeah, Plano, Texas. And I didn't, the only reason, because the name stuck out. So, and I was introduced by the locals to the Whataburger.
Somewhere there's a tackle box factory in Plano, because every plastic tackle box I ever owned said Plano on it.
Plano, Texas. Yeah.
I assume it's in Texas, but I haven't run into it. And Whataburger is amazing.
Well, congrats to you on this awesome event. It's a club event. So I'm curious, do you then have to stay till the very end of the club and then tear down, or do you get to do it the next? No, you said you came back at 9?
Well,
9 to a different thing.
Who stayed, and they worked the photo ops.
Got it.
But our haunt was actually open that night because that was Friday the 13th. So my haunted house was open. I left from there to the haunted house and helped help the haunted house, which was already underway. I have an amazing team in so many regards, because the haunted house will run even if I don't show up.
Okay. Well, you got a taste of what this guy does, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at all the amazing stuff as much as we can in one show. But let's first say hello to the folks who are joining us live today. Blake, Recon Rage, I hope you're doing well. He's flying somewhere between you and me, kind of north of you, probably.
That's another busy guy right there, Blake.
Yeah. Sorry, say it again. Another
busy guy. He is always working. And I also love his attitude. He's always so positive.
Oh, incredibly positive. Like sunshine in a bottle. Blake, hope you're having a good flight. Let's see. Heading back to Portland. Josh Brown, metal greeting to you as well. Scary Monsters, Super Freaks. What's up, Ryan Clark?
What I'm into.
Yes. What's going on, Nolan? Good to see you.
Yeah,
hey, like you say, like whenever you see Shannon, you say,
that's my wife.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna say I am Julius Downey. That's my brother.
Oh, very cool.
And I know you've listened in during some of those shows, so you know what his line of work, and so I feel like he would absolutely appreciate your stuff because he often builds one-to-one as well. Let's see, for the House of Mouse. What's up, Larry? Good to see you. Hello to you and to everyone. This guy was hanging out with you earlier today, and you guys are super productive, super duper productive. He says, "Hey, that's my friend Alan." Sure is. Go check out that stream over on Art by Ackerman. The oh my gosh, what is it called when he's painting with people? There's a name for it.
Customizing studio.
Customizing studio. Yes.
Customizing studio, YouTube live, a lot of words.
Yes. If you want to know anything about customizing, especially Legions, he's turned it into a wonderful outfit over there and doing
his channel's
stuff
amazing.
With customizing. Yeah, like breaking apart figures and really cool stuff. This guy,
there's your live will intersect with people, at all these different times.
Yeah,
and it's very cool that I showed up in the action figure community, from my love of Motu and then customizing that, but just kind of as Curtis's channel was starting. And it's really cool to see like the birth of that channel and how much he's doing, and how active he is in that community, but really cool. Joe, too.
He's a wildly hard worker, and like that, he grew that channel quick. But he's also like on everybody's channel. So I think that helps. Yeah. Hustle. He's a hustler for sure. Rayson, what's going on? Rayson was angry at me because I didn't tell him about a figure that I couldn't tell him about, but we might get to that. And maybe I should put that on the docket. Let's see. Oh, hey, what's up, Larry's Geeky World? Thank you so much for being a longtime member. I appreciate you so much. Member for 6 months, half a year. Man, you ain't sick of this yet. This guy who I got to hang out recently, awesome. Good to see you, Bat Force Grumps. And I know he also signed up, and I appreciate you for signing up as a channel member. I need to do more for you guys. Let's see. Who am I missing? This wonderful person right here, Retro Toy Princess. What's going on? Allison, good to see you.
Allison is also amazing.
Absolutely. Truly
hard knowledge right there.
This, I'm assuming Ted, my brother, was talking about this awesome stuff here and just saying it's well done. Let me see who else. Chris, what's going on? I was hanging out with Chris all day on chats. Good to see you here. And Accomplish Everything Tube. I love that. All inclusive.
That's a great name.
What's going on? Yeah. Thanks for joining us. And you're absolutely welcome, Curtis. Talk to me about this real quick before I move on, because I can't get it past it. So all of these sort of column arches, that's what they're called. Going back to the art history classes. Those panels, I'm assuming they're mass produced. Can you tell us how they're done?
People and Sharpies and razor knives.
So it's not mass produced. It's people cutting every single one.
We made those. Each one of those is like 9 pieces, I think it is. So the backing is 2-inch polystyrene, but it's so styrofoam is EPS, expanded polystyrene, is what that material is. And when you say it's a certain poundage, that means a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot cube ought to weigh that weight. So that is 6-pound foam. Most of your insulation foam from Home Depot is like 2-pound foam.
Right.
This is a little more construction-y.
Dense.
But all the stuff on top of it is 2-pound foam, commercially available. So all the arches were jigsaw cut. And then I did in Photoshop, right? In Photoshop, I took a piece of the Coliseum, I laid that out, and I looked at it, and what are all those pieces, So there's an arch ridge over top of the arch. There's 2 little column pieces that come out that kind of cut the arch off. And then the big column on front, those are there to hide our seams. So they come together. But if you look at the Coliseum, they have those columns in between the arches too. But that hides the seams of where the 2 panels come.
Makes sense.
And basically, we poke through and zip tie the big columns on. But you can kind of see it's all just built in layers. You know, once you start thinking in layers of how it's put together, then, you know, it's not a difficult build. There was just a lot of it.
That's what I mean. I'm just thinking, that's why I assumed, because they're essentially identical, that you were somehow maybe doing a jig or something to make it easier to cut. When you then you said blade,
No,
and
they were all just laid out by hand. I mean, we had 64 panels to make. You know, and they're double stacked. And then the columns, we had like 68, something like that, because you put them on the ends too to hide the end of them.
I agree with accomplish everything. It's super cool. Looks great. Sorry, I had an old friend from Germany.
There were a lot of, you know, there was several people who were cutting foam for about a week and a half, 8 hours a day, sitting down, cutting.
And you are the head of the house, and you're working with a crew of how many artisans would you say?
This project, there's about 8 people who were just working on the Coliseum and the photo ops for this.
Wow.
And that was really a 2-week period. That you can take a longer time to do it, but because of payroll, the longer you take, the less money you make on that project. So you really want to guess, you know, what's the shortest amount of time I can get this done in, and then give yourself a little buffer.
Amazing. Very cool, man. He's a businessman. He's a creator. He literally, someone comes in, has an idea, and he has to make it come to life. While we're at it, let's talk about your haunt. What's the name of your haunt?
Dark Hour Haunted House in Plano, Texas.
Got it.
And I don't think I sent you anything for Dark Hour, but Dark Hour it's dark fantasy. What I want Dark Hour to be, what I want it to feel like. First, I want it to be the nicest haunted house you ever went to. So it has nice bathrooms. We've got nice, well-lit parking.
Oh, God. You know? Hold on. Can we pause there for a second? Man, I love a good, clean bathroom. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's important. It's important.
Especially if people are going to be freaking out and might have uncontrollable bowel after being freaked out from your.
I set up a bathroom valet for haunt season so that there's somebody there taking care of it, you know, the whole night.
Okay.
It's important, but and I want the haunted house to feel like, I forget what was the town name in Lord of the Rings where the prancing pony was.
I was just watching. I just finished the Fellowship with my kids again.
That town had a haunted house. That's what I want Dark Hour to feel like.
Got it. In the film, specifically in the Peter Jackson take. Yes.
Very dark fantasy. It's very, you know, it's a coven of witches. Are my framework story is there's a coven of witches that are coming together. They're called the Dark Hour Coven. They're going to make a spell so that there's a magical eclipse and it's always nighttime.
Nice.
That's their goal. And there's 13 different witches in the coven. And any year I want to change things up, I can kill a witch or two and new witches come in, you know? So, this was the show we did on Friday. It was Leprechaun Lights Out.
Okay, so you do sort of do like these special events or these where you create a like special. I'm assuming that haunt changes for this Leprechaun Lights Out kind of deal.
Yeah, our whole show is set up on DMX, so we can control the brightness, color, and flicker pattern of every light in the show.
That's a system. What do you call it? A show system. Control
DMX
system.
is like a control system.
Yes, I just want to make sure you're not talking. You don't got X going to give it to you.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes. different DMX. And we use a Chamsys Magic Q Pro 2 light board, which runs that. We have 7 different DMX universes. 5 are in the show. 1 is the lobby. 1 is our stage, our entry stage.
Love this.
We're in a 50,000 square foot building, and we do our own costumes and mask making, and we make most of our own props in house. We do a lot of it, and because of that, we're able to really give it our own flair of what we like, what I like, and I think it's a very unique experience.
Very cool. I love it. And then, so you've got different things going on. And how often are the events? How many times a week is this open?
So per month is easier. There's at least something every month, right? But for the October season, as a haunted house, I really have about 20 nights to make my money for the year.
Okay.
If the haunt attendance is good and I control my spending in October, it'll make about $2 million on ticket sales.
Okay.
That's gross. That's not net. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It might cost you 1.9 million to make 2 million. You know, it depends on how you spend and how the year goes and whatnot, and how much you advertise and how well that works. So
love it. Business end.
Those nights are what really fund it for the year. And then I want to make sure that I keep my staff. So I have things that happen throughout the year. Last night we had chicken night, which you just saw a thing for, chicken night. And chicken night is when our sets are so immersive and my crew is so talented that the haunt lights are on. You can walk through at your own pace. No one's pushing you through. The music is quieter and you can see the sets and enjoy the show. And I have staff members throughout. You can ask questions too about how was it built? How does this work?
Oh, that's cool. Do you get younger kids around those times too? Maybe families coming.
To introduce people to a haunted house where there's not an actor jumping out to scare them. You know, and that's why we call it chicken night. Is for chickens.
Is that a standard thing, or is that something that you all decided this is a good idea for us to do? I think it's a brilliant idea.
I'm going to say this very carefully. Not all haunted houses will hold up to that, and not all haunted houses look as good. You know, like we do backstage tours.
Well done. I like that flex. That's a thoughtful flex.
Because on our backstage, we have a production facility where we make masks and costumes for theme parks and haunts all over the country. You know, so we have a facility back there for a backstage tour to look at. We have an amazing makeup room. We have an amazing costume room. We do a lot.
That's cool. No, it's a really good idea, and that was very that was thoughtfully and tastefully said. But yeah, like that does say a lot when the lights come on or things are a little bit I don't know how much the lights are on, but you're stopping and you can really scrutinize and see everything. That I hadn't really thought about how confident you have to be.
In haunted attractions, you are making sure it looks good in low light.
Right.
If you didn't spend enough time on it,
movies, right? You're doing it enough for that quick screen
and it doesn't quite look right. Then you dim the lights on it a little bit, you know, maybe add a strobe, and then it'll work. But you know, when you know it's going to be seen in rather bright light for a long time, you know, it has to hold up to a different standard.
I love that. And then I'm looking at this. So it sounds like, look at you. One of the nation's scariest haunted houses claims USA Today. Very cool, man. Dark Hour.
USA Today did.
Yeah. I'm curious, like for this kind of thing, how long are folks in makeup?
So if you're working the haunt, you're going to be in makeup for maybe 8 hours because we open at 7. And then on our busiest night, we're going to shut down about 1 a.m.
Okay. So they're coming in.
Get ready about 5:30.
Okay. 5:30. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a crazy hour and a half. Really, it's between 4:30 and 6, you know, that everything has to happen. You know,
That's
you got to get 85 people in makeup and in costume and in their spot, you know, before we're ready to go.
Props, man. Looks like people, at least the community. I mean, no, not at least the broader USA, you know, today is like everybody. And then it looks like, I'm assuming this is a coaster nation. So it's like amusements.
They're a theme park review, basically.
Right, theme parks. So they're saying the 2024 top 5. That's awesome, man. So folks, take a look at this. This is his IG. Go follow for that. But there's way more to talk about, man. He truly is a creative beast. So
we get to do a lot of stuff. You know, we get to do a lot of things. So if you scroll back up, can you scroll? I guess right there. That ghost in the middle with the green eyes. That's one of our banshee. You know, that's a stilt costume that we make.
Okay.
This is for St. Patrick's Slay. We're at a festival. We're at a Celtic festival, basically. But we do a lot of outreach where we go there, and you can see my little Dark Hour banner on their belt. But that's a stilt costume that we make of a banshee.
I'm assuming the person maybe ends about here, and this is a big, huge thing.
No, they're on stilts, so that's their head. If you look right under the lit eyes, just under the light up eyes, you can see the eye holes.
Got it. Okay, so they're up on stilts.
You have to have them blocked off so that they don't blind the performer, you know?
Yeah. And then this person has a handler with them to kind of keep folks.
Normally, no, not for us. But
oh man, you're not like the Disney parks, huh?
Yeah.
I agree with Joe here. You are definitely, like I said, a creative beast, if you will. One of the most creative people that Joe knows. Yeah, man, you do great work. And I know so much of that it's got to come from the past. And I know you're into toys and Masters of the Universe. So I kind of want to go there next. But let me first catch up with some of the things that were brought up. Thank you. Yes, The Prancing Pony is in Brie. Man, I just saw that movie. My comprehension is weak. Let's see. An oven of witches, a coven of witches. I don't know the reference, but curious. Is that a Hansel and Gretel, or might that be even more recent? Like
it might. What's the little mouse that fights the witches? Isn't there a little mouse movie?
The little mouse that fights the witches.
Isn't there a little like Stuart? Maybe I don't know. There's a mouse.
Does Stuart Little fight witches?
I feel like he did. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Is there a little mouse in The Witches?
I don't know. I was thinking because the other oven witch thing was recently in the MCU. There was that Witches Road where they climb into an oven. But I don't know. He says he'll be impressed if anyone gets that reference. I don't think we're referencing him.
We did not. We failed your test. Sorry, Ryan.
It's from 4 Rooms. Oh, I don't even know the reference.
Is that the movie with the dead hooker under the mattress?
Are you? Is that? I don't know, but this movie sounds interesting. Is for what you're talking about? Is it like an anthology?
Yeah, and Antonio Banderas is in it.
Oh yeah. That's well, I don't know. Maybe
I thought that was called 4 Rooms.
Man, Mr. Ryan Clark. Now you just stopped the show, man. Moving on. Let's see. Who else? Who am I missing? Joe. Sorry. Joe said what he said. Curtis concurred and said you're super productive. Yeah, dude, super prolific. I was watching you on Curtis's show this morning, and you were just going in like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this Kraken head. Oh, and then I'm gonna do this UCLA, UCLA. UCLA the Mott. Hey, speaking of prolific, wildly creative people, what's up, Erwin? Good to see you, sir. No Chewing is here. Hello. And from the Witches.
Oh, Witches. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
I don't even know. Angelica Houston was the main witch in The Witches. I don't know.
I think there was a mouse. I think there was a mouse.
You're probably right. Look at this guy, Action Figs. What's up, Ed? Brick, I'm not mad that you forgot Brie. Just disappointed. I understand, Dad. I'll sit in the corner now. Yeah, got it. It was 4 Rooms.
So as far as me being prolific and doing a lot of work, that my philosophy is, and I learned this from a friend named Dan Granquist, really awesome guy, who I worked with at the Renaissance Festival. And he said, in order to maintain whatever status we were talking about at the time, you have to produce more than you consume.
Yes.
And that is how I now approach media.
Love that.
So this is media that I'm helping produce. So if I'm on here for 2 hours, I earn 2 hours of TV or video game time. In theory, you know, because I'm helping to produce media. So that's something where I played WoW for a little while.
Oh,
the video game.
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
What I didn't like was no matter how hard I felt I worked and how hard I felt I grinded, it didn't change anything outside of this box. And I want to change the freaking world, you know? Sure. I want to affect things. And I can't affect things if all of my work and energy go into the box.
Yep.
It's got to come out of the box, you know? And it's my work isn't just for me. It should be for others, I think.
Love that. Love that. Love that. And yes, there was a time period where I felt like that was something that resonated with me, which is why I did a bunch of the things that I did, and I continue to try. Oh, let's do a YouTube channel, sure. You just do, but looking at you, man, you're a whole other level, and I appreciate it. It's really good stuff, and it's all quality stuff. Look at this. This is that leprechaun.
Yeah, these are promo shots for our leprechaun show.
This is for March. Okay, cool. All right, so there's that. There's the big one-to-one stuff. Let's talk toys real quick. How did you give us a quick glimpse into like your collecting habit? How did that develop? Was this a childhood Motu thing or?
Yes, I was introduced to Master of the Universe as a kid. What I think most people were, especially my age. And I was one of the lucky ones who got the toys long before there was a cartoon, because I was always into monsters.
Yeah.
I feel like I was terrified of the dark as a kid. I was terrified of monsters and things. And I came into haunting. I came into most of what I do now from loving monsters, not just loving, haunted houses and Halloween, which is how most people come to it. But I wanted to make friends with the monsters so that I wasn't scared of them.
Love it.
And then when I saw Skeletor and Beastman and Merman and, like that whole first 4-pack. And also, I really felt like before Motu, you got 5 good guy toys and 1 bad guy.
Right.
In lines, there was never enough villains. And Motu was the first one where it was like 1-to-1. Good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. Some waves had 3 bad guys and 1 good guy. It's like, wow, that's crazy, But that tells me that He-Man's a better hero because he can handle more bad guys.
I love that.
If it takes 5 good guys to take out 1 bad guy, then that bad guy was awesome. And just I really fell in love with Beastman, obviously, but many of the characters who were the bad guys because they looked strange and they had powers. And, He-Man's crew all pretty much looked like very buff, but they looked like people. And I don't think those are the most interesting stories.
I'm with you on that. And I think I have, because you mentioned I wanted to be friends with the monsters. I'm always kind of into when monsters can be heroic or quote unquote good guys. I think it's a little too simple, but I love that. I love a good monster as a hero that, whether it's like a Beauty and the Beast, kinda, but just the notion that like, what about the outcast? What about the monster? I mean, there's all sorts of work and like heady, intellectual work around fairy tales and coding and stuff, but I've always been into that. So when I look at Beastman, I'm just like, yeah, he's scary, but he's also really cool. And like, I kind of want to be into that guy. And I want to know about him. And yes, sometimes I love it when they're just really beastly and scary. But
Beastman is pretty much, he's like an animal. You know what I mean? He's very much a part of nature. He's cool. That's all. He's part beast, part man. I always loved the Wolfman. Like very young, I was exposed to the Universal monsters, and Wolfman was very clearly my favorite.
Yeah.
There's a theory that I read in a book called The Dark Twins. This was early 90s. And there's only 2 types of monster, and that is Wolfman and Frankenstein. Wolfman is the monster inside of us, and Frankenstein is the monster that we made. Godzilla and Frankenstein, because, we bombed Bikini Island with the nukes and that radiation changed something. And then it became this big monster. We cause that monster, so it's the monster you made or the monster inside of you. And when you are a kid, and I had just the right mix of exposure to the Wolfman and He-Man, I have the power. Kids have no power,
Right.
You want wouldn't it be awesome if you could manifest inside of you this beast-like power and strength, you know? And that's what I wanted. And then I in the toys, I saw this really cool character that was kind of like the Wolfman, but super buff. And I kind of fell in love with Alfredo Alcala's artwork, and that's what made me love Beastman so much.
Love it. That is a lot of Beastman.
That's one Beastman shelf, and there are 7 Beastman shelves.
Oh, this guy. I love the colors, right? It's a color story. It's a classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blue,
So bright.
Blue and orange. Come on. It's like it's on the color wheel, opposite sides of the color wheel. But this idea of a big, you know, like a wolf-like beast, but it's bright orange with blue like bits. And I just think it's such a cool idea.
Well, there's something to be said for Beastman as a primitive. And it's kind of a Beastman, Bigfoot. It's a rebellion against industry. It's a rebellion a little bit against, it's the opposite of what man is supposed to. I feel like we're being forced into factory work. We're being forced into tech. We're being forced away from the land, away from
moment in human story for sure.
The jungle, you know? And while we are the most dominant species on the planet, we're just an animal. And I think it does our soul a lot of good to remember that.
I love that. I love that. And Accomplish Everything Tube is saying Trapjaw's his favorite, or their favorite. Apologies, their favorite. But I did get a cool Beastman animation cell.
That's very cool. See, I don't have any of those. I don't have any animation cells. Again, I fell in love with the world through the mini comics.
Yeah,
that
same
came with the figures.
Well, I should say I was introduced to that, and that's what I fell in love with first. The figure first. Then you open up the store and you find out, like, my brother got a He-Man. We looked at that mini comic and it was like, oh, he was just like a dude that comes across a sorceress and, you know, he gets weapons and go. And it was very like stripped down barbarian story. So anyway, I love that, but I know that Motoot sounds like isn't your only thing, and Universal Monsters aren't your only thing. Talk to me about Star Wars and that what, because I got to assume somebody, you and I are roughly the same vintage. Knowing what you do now, right, in terms of building haunts and creatures and making it look real good and thinking about the design of these things. Tell me about like Star Wars' role in that. It's got to have played some role, right?
I'm one of the few where my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
That's because of Jabba's palace, all of the monsters in there. There's the Rancor monster. There's the Gamorrean guards, Jabba himself, you know. It's when you're a kid who loves monsters, like Jabba's palace is kind of heaven. There's weird monsters all over the place. And I think some of my favorite scenes in any movies are like a collection of monsters. The gremlins in the bar at the end of Gremlins, you know, where the whole bar is going nuts because they're swinging from the chandeliers and drinking, and, you know, it's insanity. But that room full of monsters just, you know, hits me. And Jabba's palace was kind of the same way. And it just felt good. You know, there's a giant sarlacc. There's just this giant mouth in the desert. That's really cool. You know, and there's no backstory to that at the time. Rancor was a cherished toy as a kid. He was that hard, brittle plastic. A lot of them had one of their arms broke off. You know, that was pretty common. But yeah,
these kids playing with their toys. They ain't breaking an arm. Just kidding. Ours didn't break, but yes. No, I hear you. Ed saying Jedi's his favorite too, and Return of the Jedi is also his favorite. Yeah, that whole intro scene was awesome. One, you're coming out of this notion that like, oh, it's called Return of the Jedi. Luke is now a Jedi, but he's super mysterious, and it always tripped me out that he was like all black. And he's moving through this thing, and even he becomes a bit of a monster that all these monsters, quote unquote, are scared of. Like that totally captured my imagination. And then we get into like, you know, at nighttime when Bausch is sort of like slinking around. You're seeing like what do they call them? The Momar monks. Is that what they're called? The spider looking things crawling around with like a brain in them. all Bomar monks, all of those are just like incredible. And so
They're out there. Yeah, crazy.
yeah. Wait, it's time. Brick gets let's see. So I get it. So Star Wars was a thing. Like I'm assuming you were inspired by how they all made that and the costumes and
yeah, because you were just kind of starting to get like a making of, and the 80s were really a time of practical effects. And there were magazines like Fangoria and Starlog and Gorezone, and all of those had,
what was the last one? Warzone?
Gorezone.
Oh, Gorezone.
Gorezone was I think it was the same production company as Fangoria, but it was not as polished.
I remember Fangoria and Starlog well. Just the name Gorezone isn't okay. Cool.
Yeah, Gorezone was just horror movies, like, and mostly slashers. But the 80s, you know, that could hold up. You know, there was enough.
So, were you ever interested in pursuing that end of things? Is that something you did? I'm curious. So, did you ever reach out to any of those companies?
When you're young, that's what you're exposed to, and now I am a haunted house special effects artist. That's what I am. And whenever someone sees a mask I made, or they see some of my work, and they're not in the industry, they don't have an awareness, they say, that's really good. You should do that for movies. And to me, that's like, I'm a residential plumber. You're really good at being a residential plumber. You should consider commercial plumbing. You know, it's kind of like, this is my field. This is what I do. That's very different. Movie work to me is 666 because you spend 6 months making it. It's on screen for 6 seconds, and you can't talk about it for 6 years because of a non-compete.
You know? I love that. Yeah. That's incredibly accurate. Yeah.
Theme park work is almost as bad. I got to make a lot of cool stuff for theme parks last year, but I still can't tell people about it because other people, you know, they want it to mysteriously appear, you know, still in theme parks. But, hey, I sculpted that.
Yeah. So this is one of you're mentioning masks. So this is what you're doing, traditional sculpting. And then that's your what do you call it? The positive.
It's water-based.
You create the mold on
it's
top.
It's sculpted on a life cast, a face form, basically a head form.
Yep.
And then I will make a plaster mold from this. Then you clean all the clay out, so it's destroyed. And then you make a latex copy. That's the latex copy.
So you pour the latex in, and out comes this, and then in goes the paint and all that next level of stuff. It's great stuff. There it is.
This is one of my monster camp classes. This is
more. Look at you. Just does everything, this guy. Okay, so you're doing camps where all sorts of folks just come in and learn how to do
so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we do between 5 and 10 of these a year, where it's either a latex half mask, a latex full head, or a 2-foot monster. You can make a whole little creature. But yeah, that's a student sculpt right there. And they had not sculpted before. They come in and they have a design that they want to. Beforehand, we say, give me 2 designs that you want to do, and I'll talk with you. We talk ahead of time about which one we're going to do and why. You know, sometimes it's because you're going to get more organic sculpting practice out of this design, you know, or it's more useful to your career later. And they come in Friday, they sculpt. Saturday, they mold and clean out the mold and pour it up. Sunday morning, they come in. We have hatching day, and we pull their mask out of the mold, and then they paint it and finish it. And they leave about 4 or 5 in the afternoon with a mask that they made with their own 2 hands. When they came in on Friday,
I missed it. Did you say
they paint it, hair it, finish it? When they come in on Friday, it's a lump of clay and an idea.
Awesome.
And Sunday, they walk out with a finished mask that they made.
The best thing about was making something for the rest of their life.
Best thing about my job is that I can have an idea in my head, work for a little bit, and then I can see it running around.
Right.
Like I can make it, and I can put that costume on a person, and then that monster that was skulking the hallways of my brain is then skulking the hallways of my haunted house.
Yeah.
You know.
So where is this facility right here? Is this part of that
that's in Dark Hours? That's Dark Hours makeup room.
Got it.
Yep.
That's cool, man. You're doing some really cool things. We haven't even got to the toys yet. Toys are coming, but I mean, these are, again, you're doing your thing. You've got this gigantic space, and so you're not kind of resting on your laurels, being like, okay, we're gonna do a haunted house, we're gonna scare people. You're like, well, let's do what did you call it? The chicken night? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Chicken. Yeah, where it's like, let's educate people and let's get some folks in to kind of see the craft and do it. And then you're like, let's do camps. That's really cool.
I almost hesitate to say this because there's a lot more. I own the Mythical Monster Museum at Scarborough Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, okay.
And also the North American Cryptid Museum, which is going to be technically open in June, but on nights when the haunt is open now, we're about half to 3/4 of the exhibits are in, so we open it up and people could go through it. So the Cryptid Museum, and I forget why I was saying that, but
because I was saying you do these things, you don't rest on your laurels, and you're telling me all the other things that you do.
Yeah, and but the Cryptid Museum is going to be open year round. That's a Bigfoot that I sculpted right there.
We will come back to this for sure later because there's a lot of, as you know, a lot of cryptid action in the toy world right now.
There is.
Well, this is cool. So you're doing this stuff. That's one of the masks you've done.
Well, and because of my company making haunted house props, almost everything in the museum we make as a full-size figure. Do you want to talk about the Cryptid Museum now? Let's actually go back. We'll talk about it.
We'll come back to it. What was the other thing you did say though? You said that I don't know, the magical
Mythical Monster Museum at Scarborough Fair. And that is at a Renaissance Festival, and that is, it's these two monsters. The story is these two monster hunters will go out and catch monsters and then make displays of them.
Are you listed in here? There you are.
There we go.
So this is a
that's me there.
Yeah, it was, but then you got blocked by an
ad pop-ups
right there. Look at you hunting monsters.
So we would hunt the monsters and then we would put them on display, and that's very empowering for kids to, hey, this is anything that's scary. We've already caught it and it's in here, and it's kind of a monster zoo, which is,
Tell folks where this is, because Raceland is.
That is
scroll down.
That's in Texas. It's at Scarborough Renaissance Festival, which is coming up April and May.
Are you going? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
So we do a lot of stuff.
You do?
I try to keep about 10 people on staff year round through Dark Hour. My main company, I would say, other than Dark Hour, is Stiltby Studios. Stiltby Studios is that production company who has made masks and costumes. I have a YouTube channel for Stiltby Studios with about 160,000 or so subscribers.
This I knew about through Oz, but yes,
and that's part of just what we do. But I have this team of people who can help us service the haunted attraction industry and the people in our area, through the museum with classes. A lot of people want to do what I do, but there's a knowledge gap. Anytime you put a process or a machine in between you and art, there's a knowledge gap. It's like an airbrush, With a paintbrush, I get it. It's an extension of my hand. I can put paint, boom, touch paint. With an airbrush, it's like, wait, it goes in this little cup and I hit this button, I push it down, I pull it back. It's a different process, and you have to learn that, and you have to, get used to it. Well, the same is true with mold making. There's so many talented monster makers that will do anything to avoid making a mold, because it can be difficult. So the classes, it's a zero failure environment. I've never had anybody not leave with a finished mask. So
I love it. So go check these out, folks. I'll put these in the links. So at the end, I should say that. Let's see. At the end of the show, that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, if you go there, or at the URL at the very bottom, that's going to scroll over in a little bit, bit.ly/Brick Something News, capital B, capital S, capital News. I'll have all these links, and do just as I did. I didn't know this was here. I'd heard Oz mention it, but I didn't subscribe. So I just subscribed, and go follow all the things. All the things that we're talking about will be in those links later. But man,
my YouTube channel there is 16 years old.
Okay.
I started that channel in order to make a library of techniques for haunted house people. So if you wanted to learn how to do something, you could do it. And that's how the channel started.
I love that your philosophy of, one, I'm going to be constantly creative. I'm going to produce more than I consume, but also how much, I'm a teacher and I love to share knowledge. I'm a DIY person too, who loves the idea of just like doing it. And so one of the biggest, it's annoying as hell when people gatekeep knowledge. Who wants that are the people who want to control the thing and feel powerful and special. But the fact that you're like, I'm going to build this library so people can go and learn, and I'm going to create camps so you can come and learn. I think that's incredible. And very smart too, because then we'll have more people, new generations of folks doing this kind of stuff.
Well, and what I have learned,
access to a lot of the talented people that you can end up hiring to help you.
Well, yeah, but also, I've done actor training. Like, so in August, September, my team will go out and we'll train other haunted houses actors, right? We'll train them. And I've been doing this for over 20 years. Now I get hired by haunted houses who are owned by actors that I trained when they just worked for someone else's haunted house.
Yep. That's exactly what I was doing with that.
If you're making something, then I taught through a YouTube video, I taught 100 people how to do something. But everybody has their own twist. Everybody has their own access. Everybody has their own cheats and techniques. And probably 30 of that 100 is going to come back to me and say, I used this instead, and it worked really well. Right?
Sure. Sorry, that photo is amazing.
Yeah. That's part of one of our Krampus events. That's me and Jordu Shell and Dan Caro. Jordu is a Hollywood special effects artist. That's me training 250 people at a theme park in very tiny state up north, not Connecticut, Vermont. In Vermont. Yeah. This is a haunted house trade show where I'm giving an interview. I don't know where I am there.
Oh, good.
This is an art festival. We do a lot of stuff. That's an art festival where I was teaching. This is a haunted house where I was doing training for them. I
can't slow these down. These are just sort of the auto slideshow on your site. Okay.
Is this my slideshow? Great. Good job, wife. That's me. Yeah. That's a werewolf right there.
Good job, wife. This is the still beast. I was going through them more to kind of see if you had like portfolio or something, and then I came up gallery and I was like, oh, I want to see that. So yeah, this is just kind of cycling through photos.
Here's what's funny, right? I don't advertise my work and I don't try to get new customers because I'm already so busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be busier. Like, it happens, Now there's an organic process. I have enough perennial customers who are going to call me throughout the year that I have to work. That's Ben Armstrong from Netherworld Haunted House in Georgia. We're teaching a class. That's a mask I made. Yeah.
Amazing stuff, man.
This is my booth at a haunted house trade show where I'm selling my wares to haunted houses and theme parks across the country.
Very cool.
That's coming up in St. Louis in a few weeks.
Do you do, what is it, Monster Fest in Southern California? Is that on your list?
I wish I could. Bad time of year for haunted houses. They're normally September.
Gotcha.
But I do a lot of teaching. If I learned how to do something and that is a roadblock to it getting done by somebody else, then I want to teach it. Those are giant snakes, and I ended up making a big fake snake for a Britney Spears impersonator. Apparently on an MTV performance, she had a big yellow
I remember that
of some kind. Well, I made that for her, and then because I had the mold, I made snakes to sell, big silicone snakes to sell.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I just realized I could actually not pause, but go back as it goes through. But this is all good stuff, folks. You should definitely go check out stillbestudios.com and all the other links. Again, that'll be in the links at the end. So go check those out. But like I hinted at the beginning, this guy does a bunch of stuff. This is all on massive scale. We started talking about your love of Masters Universe, the inspiration of Star Wars, and the likes. Let's fast forward to your modern way of playing with toys and collecting toys. I know you do a crap ton of what do you call this? Customizing. And so we see some of that here. But I'm curious, do you have a collection of stuff that is just out of the box and I just love it and I'm not gonna mess with it? Or do you customize everything you get?
This carries over from haunted houses. Nothing comes to you finished.
Okay.
Because
so
they didn't make
like, ooh, I want to do this. Yeah.
They didn't make it for me. They made it for the masses, you know?
Okay,
and if I want it to be mine, I need to make it fit in my world some way.
Okay.
So no. Here, I'll show you almost well, Beastman. I have almost every Beastman figure made. I'll take just one. Now I'll buy 5.
That's right. We showed that earlier. So you do have a collection that you don't touch.
4 in order to, I'll have that one, and then I have him the way that I want him to be, because the Beastman in the package is not the Beastman that's in my heart. And if I have the skills and techniques to make it closer to my ideal, then I will. Sense. This is a Mondo.
Oh, this guy will buy an action figure that's like almost $200+ and I need to paint the whole thing like the original.
I sculpted a new head. So this head is I did a digital sculpt for this.
Incredible.
I adjusted his back piece in order for it to have the right spikes and shape. And but this is the Mondo Beastman wasn't my favorite. So I made it my favorite. If something in your life isn't exactly how you want it, make it the way that you want it. You're able to do that.
As Alan Adams saying, there's a Beastman in all our hearts. Absolutely.
That's right. If you're lucky.
And that works on multiple levels. But yes, there's a Beastman in all our hearts. I love that, man. And I remember you working on that. But how long would painting, taking Mondo's not a small figure, painting, printing out the head, sculpting, printing out the head, and painting all that stuff? Would you say from start to finish, how many hours would you say you put into that guy?
5 or 6.
Wow. He works fast.
I will never, I'm not capable yet of giving you an A-level sculpture, right? I'm working on it, but I can produce 4 B-level sculptures in the time that most people can do an A-level sculpture.
I love this guy.
And
I love it.
Often I get the work because I can get the job done, and it's 85 to 90% as good, as the top tier guys. I don't need to be the best.
Your B is a lot of people's A, as you probably know. But yes, no. I from an industry, like when I put that certain hat on, I understand what you're saying.
If I sculpt a duck, people will say, that's a duck.
Right.
I have friends, Andrew Freeman, look up his work. Immortal Masks, amazing. Don Lanning, Hollywood. Drew Duchel, amazing. Hollywood. Yeah, if they sculpt a duck, you expect it to blink, turn its head, and fly away. But at least mine, it's a duck.
I hear you. And these are cool. These are examples of, it's not just the customizing Beastmen is not just a thing he does with his Mondo. Like some of these are you've got an itch in your brain and you want to turn it into a certain look, or like, because some of these are obviously your own looks. That one was, the one you just showed is very much out of Motu history, right? We had the
Yep.
But the rest of this stuff, I know this is Nate Barch's woman beast woman or whatever it is. But some of this is original stuff. Like I'm seeing some AWOC parts here, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, AWOC is amazing. Yeah, that's a what's Tanger? That's a Tanger body. That the Tanger shoulder, Battle Cat's helmet fits on his shoulder like a pauldron. Perfect. It's like it snap fits. It's amazing.
Origins? Which Battle Cat?
Origins. And then like the lower right, that Beastman on the lower right, that's a Masterverse Beastman armor on top of a scar from the King Kong Monster Horse toys.
I'm sorry. Yes, legendary King Kong.
And then I sculpted that head, I believe. No, that's One Eye. One Eye is the figure name for Monsterverse. I sculpt a lot of heads. One of the dangers of being this prolific is I don't always remember things that I make. I was shown the other day a picture of a scarecrow, and I know I made it. The picture's taken in my shop. I have no idea when, and I have no idea who I sold it to or where it went.
Yeah, but the moments fly by.
The world needed an anti-Eternia Beastman. The world needs a Yeti Beastman. So they show up.
I love it. I love it. Do you sketch at all? Do you have like somewhere a bunch of sketches of Beastman ideas, or is it more like you have it in your head, you just put it straight to 3D?
It's faster for me to go straight to 3D. I have a Google document. That's
right. You were saying that earlier, that you have a spreadsheet or a doc where you have all your ideas.
All the customs I'm going to make. And it's probably 10 years worth of work. But I started right after COVID, actually.
Started toy customizing and
toy customizing. Gotcha. Right after COVID. During COVID, I was too busy. We went live every single night just so people weren't depressed. You know, they had something positive to watch. So after COVID, it's like, oh, I can breathe a little bit because I don't have to do that work of pumping people up, you know? And so that's kind of when I started. But my goal is I'm going to do a train set, G-scale train set of the dark side of Eternia.
Oh,
and on it is going to be Mum-Ra's Pyramid will be a stop on the train. You know, Snake Mountain is a stop on the train. There's a little Universal Monsters town called Visaria.
Gotta pause you real quick. Help me out. It's been a while since I've talked train scales. G scale. Are these the smaller ones, or is this like a Lionel size?
Bigger
than Lionel.
G scale is.
These are the ones that
garden
you
train
sit on top of. You can sit on top.
No, not quite that big. A G scale engine is about this big, right about the size for a Motu figure to be on.
Got it.
So all of these Motu figures that I'm making are going to populate this train set. That's what it's for. That's awesome. When my Beathir gets in, and when my train set gets built, he's got a cave, and it goes by.
Where is this going to live? Is this going to be an attraction like at your haunt?
In order for it to be a tax write-off, all of this stuff, this is going to be housed in like a 40 by 80 building on the property of a future haunted hayride that I don't have yet, but I will. Okay. And then in this building will be the full train set and everything set up so that when the haunt is open, it's an additional attraction that people can go through and just see this mini monster world.
I love it.
So I'm working towards a goal.
That makes sense.
I'm not just producing random plastic. Yeah. I'm not selling anything really. Really, my goal is I'm making, in my Eternia world, right? Skeletor rules, He-Man's gone, good guys are gone, and that in itself, there's peace there, because nobody's opposing him. Skeletor has conquered other universes. He has a council of Skeletors that he has conquered from other universes.
Yep.
And he took out their He-Man, and that's why now they work for him. But that is all the different, like Samurai, Skeletor. That's how I make sense of them in my world.
Yep.
I
love that, man.
And
so there's an end goal that helps keep you be motivated. Again, you're always producing. So you're producing these things, but it's for this larger production. You've already thought about like this hayride, like venture. all of that is amazing. And I want to highlight this from Adam, because I hear this and like I tell my students this exact same thing all the time, and then I just don't take my own advice sometimes. But what I've noticed about Alan is that he doesn't hesitate and is willing to make a mistake and just keep working. That's the biggest inspiration I've gotten. Just keep working. Don't worry about the errors. You'll make them, but don't let them stop you from making progress.
You can support the wrong decision into being a good decision or the right decision if you support it enough. But if you don't make a decision, there's no fixing that.
Yeah, there's nothing. You're not doing anything. Totally.
My favorite book ever is a book of 5 Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, who is he was a samurai duelist. And he had something like 70 duels to the death that he lived. And at one point he was recovering from injury, and he wrote a book called The Book of 5 Rings. And one of the things that he says that I really love is don't die with a sword in your sheath. Yeah. Meaning if there's a tool at your disposal, or if there's a way, if there's a, he died, but his sword was still in his sheath. Why didn't he try harder? Why didn't he pull that sword out? That's frustrating. But yeah, it's you can work through a mistake. Absolutely. It doesn't matter, and you can adjust your vision on the fly as necessary. So
let's talk mistakes real quick.
That's too bad.
I'm in the business of doing show and showing things, and I know in a couple of different instances, Alan will pop up and be like, "What's that?" And that I know what that means. If I've shown something, what that means is Alan is going to find it, pre-order it if it's up for pre-order, and he's got some ideas. So when I pop this up, I remember you going like, "Oh, I'm gonna get that." But let's talk the mistake, because you said this a couple of times. This is a beautifully blue dude.
That's right. Sure is.
And there is a yellow version of this.
There's a flesh colored, a very yellow version.
Yeah, yellow jaundiced flesh colored. You went with a yellow and then proceeded to paint it blue.
I painted half of it blue when I could have bought the blue one.
Sure.
Well, I committed to the bit.
It doesn't matter. Look at this. Look and talk about like working through an quote unquote error or whatever. But it's fantastic. I love this take on Too Bad, because it gets to the heart of who the character is, sure, but it like gives us a whole other vision. And I love this kind of stuff. So many of people, it seems like maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't want to give them the power, but there are quite a few of at least really vocal people our age who are fans of things like, say, Masters of the Universe, and if somebody produced something like this, they would go, "That's not how Too Bad is. That's wrong. Give us the one that I remember," and proceed to say that there's something wrong with it. You, on the other hand, are like, "I love the thing. I want to add my take or have some other great way." And then you'll move on to a different Too Bad or a different Beastman. And it's just like, it's fine.
When I hear that, I hear that's wrong, that's not the way it is. Right. Not even said to me. What it tells me is all they do is consume.
Yes.
They're taking what spoon fed to them.
Yes. Exactly. It's exactly how my brain goes. It's like, do you not have a
world is not about consuming, it's about producing.
Yes.
Every figure that Motu has made is a stepping stone for me to get the figure that I want.
I am so with you on that, because sometimes when people get so stuck in the thing, and I get it, nostalgia is a beep, but like if you are a creative person, you have to every now and then just go like, "Oh, that's cool that someone did that," regardless of if you like it or not. And then you move on to the next thing. I'm excited every time someone does something. It's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing there. I appreciate it. That's cool." Even if I'm like, "That's not for me." And the notion of like,
world of haunted houses, every haunted house is sort of shaped by its creator, Some are just like purchased out of a box. They went to the trade show. I'm going to buy this, buy that, and it goes into a room, and each one has its own room and it's all its own thing. And that's okay. And there's extreme haunted houses like McCamey Manor, where it's pretty much, it's a torture experience, and that gets called a haunted house. I have to combat all of that and explain what my haunted house is. Well, this is what my Masters of the Universe is. Right. The toy line said I have the power, and I just believe them. So I'm gonna create the world. And also, they Masters of the Universe kind of taught me how to do this, because they presented one world in the mini comics. Then they were like, that's still there, but there's also this world on the cartoon, you know. And they said, this was maybe a mistake, maybe we rushed this, but here's the new stuff, and it all still exists. And it's like, okay, that means I have the power, and I can make the world that I want, because you're free to change it.
Yeah.
And honestly, they taught me how to do a lot, because I don't know of any other toy line where I realized they're reusing parts to make new characters. That's the coolest, you know?
Yeah.
People love
every single one of them. I don't mean bought necessarily like financially, but we accepted and went with it, regardless of the fact that, like, literally it was that Man-at-Arms was the same body, painted green, different head, different costume. But we bought into it, and we were open to it. And I guess that's where I mean, it's just like, what happens to folks when they're willing to do that as a young kid, and then they grow up and they're like, nah, that looks too different from what I remember. Go back and make it the same.
And now I know, from that lesson, that when I sculpt an orc mask, I can have an orc mask, or I can paint him gray and put horns on him, and now he's a gargoyle.
Right.
Or I can paint him flesh colored, horns and hair, and now he's a Krampus. You know, I can not put horns on, paint him white, give him white hair, he's a Yeti. That is what, you know, the difference is.
You're a true creative, man. You get it. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all the source pieces from AWOC to Origins.
At the end of all of my Stiltby Studios videos, I say, go make stuff. That's how I end my, like, go make stuff.
Yeah.
It's good for your heart. I think it's good for your head to create things.
I imagine for you, it's also like, man, you've been sitting here watching my video for 20 minutes. Now you have to go and reclaim that time you've been consuming. Now go make something. I love that.
So here's what's silly about it. If I make a video, I'm teaching you how to make a vampire hunting kit. You get an old suitcase like this. Here's the foam. You line it out, make wooden stakes out of a hammer handle, make a wooden hammer, you know, buy a crucifix. You put it all together. This is a vampire hunting kit. You can make one. You know, I will get 30 emails. Can I buy the vampire kit you just made? I just freaking taught you how to make it. Yeah.
I knew my brother would appreciate this, man. He says, I love your attitude, Alan. 100%, man. You're like, yes, I love it too. And I think it's a good lesson for people to hear and to see you be so prolific and actually like, no, it's not just an idea. Let me go do it.
I think customizing is cooler than collecting, because what you're doing is you are controlling a small world.
Yeah.
I have complete control over this small world. And if you get to a point where you do that, then it's easy to extrapolate. I can control my world. My world is just choices and attitude. Same as I did here, you know?
Oh man, you are dropping. You know, there was a set of my friends who would hear you and go teach or facts or
that's the genie from Aladdin, the Mirrorverse genie.
I saw this too. I loved your take on the genie.
Yeah, I got to, like, a lot of times if I'm here and I'm on Oz's show or I'm on Offworld or I'm just watching your show, I'm here working because I'm consuming what you put out, but I'm also producing at the same time. I need to make things.
Yeah.
It validates my existence to have things that I make, even if nobody else sees them. So,
well, people see them, man. You've got so many great public, you know, what do they call it? Fires, irons in the fire or whatever, that eventually people see your stuff. And this is all really cool, man. So where I was going with that, I was looking at, I think it was a Too Bad, and, you know, me bringing up like the Too Bad or some other thing. Your brain, if I'm interpreting correctly, you see the thing, but you're seeing the possibility of a thing. Or when you're buying that AWOC beast, I'm sorry, that beast man, and you've got like, when I see this, what I see is a guy who was who buys toys but looks at all the different bits of the toy that could turn into something else and help you along the way. So can you just give folks a little sense of the logistics of how you do what you do? Do you keep a bunch of like, yeah, I know you've shown me this before, but can you talk about your like bins of parts and figures and what happens when you buy a figure?
You know, I buy a lot of figures on sale if they have good parts or whatnot.
Yep.
But it's to me, I'm really working from a list. You know, if you go willy-nilly and you just buy things, I think that gets out of hand. But there are things that I want to make. War Duke was on my list.
Nice.
And but I'm not going to sculpt War Duke from start to finish, you know.
Right.
Which I could do. I could sculpt it in Blender. I could figure out how the joints work, but someone's already done that. I want a nice Origins, because that's the scale I've chosen. I want a nice Origins War Duke. So that is the snake armor He-Man.
He-Man.
Because he has the armor on one side of his body. His legs are pretty much right. And then I sacrifice the vision a little bit. I allow the He-Man emblem to stay on his chest. I just painted War Duke's colors, you know. I think that's a piece of shoulder armor I tacked on there from a Witcher figure. That was $5. And that head I actually purchased. That's not even one I sculpted. And through paint, like if you look at it, you know it's War Duke. If you really know War Duke from D&D, that armor's on the wrong side. It should be on the other side. It should be on his.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Boo this man. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not how he was, you know.
Yeah. But it's freaking War Duke, and it's cool, and the spirit of the idea, the asymmetry, and all of that gets communicated here, and it's great, man. So, but you are buying a bunch of things. What I heard you say is I have a goal. So I have my list, and I kind of know all the different things that I'm trying to make at some point. So when you're out in the world or you're watching YouTube and you see people in toy news, you see figures, I'm assuming you're like, oh, like I'm trying to imagine what that looks like. Oh, that figure, that could work for this. That could work for this. And you're seeing things in parts and bits.
Boy. So in my teaching and my storytelling and character crafting that I do for Haunts and for when I was with the Renaissance Festival and such, there's a pattern to teams, you know. There's a reason why there's Lino, Panthro, Tigra. If you look at all the characters in Thundercats, all the good guys, they line up perfectly with the cast of Gilligan's Island. There is a leader. There is the muscle. There, you know, and sometimes they're mixed together or whatever. There's a
billionaire and his wife, but sure, a millionaire and his wife, but yes.
Well, except when you think about the Thundercats go and ask Jaga, don't they go and ask Mr. Howell because he's older and wiser?
Fair. There's the old wiser guy.
There's an elder. Yeah. So, yeah.
A movie star.
That's an Origin Skull. He was my favorite Sectar. So that's a head. I purchased that head, and then that's a Buzz Off body that I repainted and did a little bit of build on.
And that's a vintage tarantula.
It's a vintage tarantula with a lock line hand puppet inside of it that I made. So that's why he's standing up on his legs on his own power, you know?
Yeah. I had these toys, man. This is one of my favorite toy lines, and this in a world where we're growing up as kids, me and my brother, you know, sort of sharing collections. This was one of those where like I was a Sectars kid, and I was able to convince family somehow to be like, hey, I'm a Sectars collector, and I had a bunch of these and loved them. They got to still be in my mom's garage somewhere, but these toys are awesome.
Can I tell you a valuable lesson I learned from Sectars?
What's that?
My mother, I think whatever grade I was in at the time, she said, if you get all of your grades are higher than a C, everything is higher than a C, I will buy you the Hive playset.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't have the Hive playset, but all right.
Well, neither did I. Let me finish the story.
Oh, shit.
Because I got a D. I got a D. And I thought that it was still pretty good and I would still get it, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a wonderful lesson to learn that you actually have to work for it.
And they stuck to their guns, and you never got that high.
Yep, she did not break. Yeah, I never had the hive place. I'll make one eventually. I got all the stuff to make it now. So I'll make
Mom
my
and
own.
Dad, I had straight A's pretty much my entire life.
Wow.
I'm owed a hive.
You are owed a hive. Absolutely. Now they're $2,000. They should have bought early.
Well, okay. That's all right. I think the hive is cool. It's not as cool as people think. I think Castle Grayskull is a much better looking design.
It is. I would agree.
All right. So you're doing figures. People can see I've been scrolling through this just to give them a sense of what's going on. But there are a couple that I really, really, really want to look at with you and talk about, friend.
Sure.
Let's talk about your current love of the Mythic Legion's troll.
That's a Lord of the Rings troll.
Oh, it's a cave troll. Sorry, I should have looked at the feet.
Lord of the Rings cave troll. Yeah,
it is a cave troll. You're right.
Found, I don't even know. I have
it's
no
posable
idea.
though, so I'm pretty sure this must be a Toy Biz. Okay, I love those toys. They were great.
I'm on a troll kick, but a Mythic Legion's troll is like $150. You know, that's a good price for one. So, you know, when you're cruising around, you find Treebeard. Yeah, it's pretty great.
I love this Toy Biz. They killed it with this stuff, and I always forget where it is, but somewhere on here is somewhere on. Always hard to find where the button is, but
yeah, because they hit it.
And what a paint job!
He's great.
Anyway, sorry. So, Cave Troll, you found a good deal on it, so much cheaper than buying a whole new, pricey. Admittedly,
the Cave Trolls, they had a latex face, and when you hit the button on their back, their mouth opened up and stretched and stuff. Well, that rots. Latex is organic. It's, you know, sap from a rubber tree, so it rots away. So now they're all faceless. And then you buy them, the face is ripped off, and so I can get them for like $15.
Yeah.
You know? And that is now Daimar the Demon from a Motu episode where Orko makes a friend with a little demon who then becomes the big demon. And he was on my list to make. So Daimar,
is this a head sculpt you found or that you made?
I hand sculpted that. I didn't sculpt that 3D. That was sculpted in 5-minute epoxy.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's clean, and it has it has like a classic. I'm trying to think. It reminds me of like that on the old old brain. The old Dungeons and Dragons manual where the dude behind the you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it also because it's from Motu, I think it's pretty 80s. It feels kind of like a Boglin. It feels a little bit like boy, what are the ones? Not Gremlins in the Toilet. Ghoulies.
Oh, that's right. Popping out.
Yeah, popping out. So it feels very 80s in the face, you know.
What's up, D? Good to see you, man. Devon Art is asking, what kind of epoxy are you using with this sculpting?
This is not for the faint of heart. Okay. Because you mix it together and it cures in 5 minutes. Rock hard.
Fast. Holy crap.
Steel stick epoxy or the Harbor Freight version.
Why do you work with that kind of material that has a quick curing time? Is that just like a challenge to you, or?
I don't need to take more time than that. I can get that job done in that amount of time. So this is what I use. I don't have to wait for it to cure. If it has an hour cure time, you know, then I've got to sculpt one cheek and then be careful not to mess up the other cheek. This is I sculpt one piece, wait, sculpt another piece, wait. And in 30 minutes, I've got that whole head sculpted on top of the cave troll head.
Great paint job. It's almost like moist looking. It looks really good.
This guy is also 5-minute epoxy sculpted.
Damn, I love that. Very
same exact body.
Is that based on a design from somewhere? It's very Norse.
It's a Norwegian troll. That's all.
Oh, okay, there you go. Gotcha.
Yep, the wooden kind that you can collect. Yeah.
Yep. I remember those. This looks really great. So you're using Mythic Legion's wings. You've got the Toy Biz Cave Troll.
And the hands are modified from a RBL 3D.
Custom design.
He had Motu hands that I altered a little bit in Blender and then printed up. I print them up, in a bunch of different sizes, and they work pretty well. Love
it, man. Really cool. So this is one of them. You've been on your troll kick. So you've been doing this is actually a Mythic Legion's troll, and you're looking at
that's my favorite custom I've ever done, an Umber Hulk.
It's beautiful how like wet this face is. That the eyes look fantastic, and what's going on with the mouth.
Is this. This is another type of 5-minute epoxy.
See, Alan can't help but teach y'all. He's gonna break it down.
Clear AB epoxy that you mix these together in even amounts, but it dries glossy. We use this for blood a lot in haunts, or I use it for mouth wet and eye wet on masks and things.
Very cool. Quick question: do the folks that you work with doing the sort of like the haunt stuff, are any of them into figure stuff, or
not really? One is
this is like your own little world.
But yeah, this is me. This is my childhood and what shaped me as a kid. And this is a micro world that I can control and maybe learn some lessons from or run some experiments in, and then maybe I can extrapolate it back, or I can do vice versa and take some of my big world stuff and bring it down into the world down there.
For anyone unfamiliar with the toy this is based on, it's a Mythic Legion's troll that is, for cost saving reasons and for size, the body is a blow mold.
It's rotocast.
Rotocast. When I say
rotocast,
that's straight up watching too much Secret Galaxy. That's totally Secret Galaxy. They love a good blow mold. Sorry, yes, rotocast. And so it's got basic articulation. They're not the cheapest thing, but Mythic Legions is a line that like folks customize to death. And there really aren't a whole lot of folks messing with the trolls. Like it kind of comes in fits, and
there's 4 or 5 people who are kind of troll
doing it. Yeah. And so shout out to Josh Brown, who has been working with some amazing talented people. I've showed it here on the show a couple different times, but working with to create like whole new sculpts and stuff. So I love to see that people are still kind of creating things for people to then, off the shelf, go buy a head from Josh Brown and it'll work on one of your trolls. But you're obviously doing you're just like, I see it in my head.
That's a head that I sculpted.
Yeah, totally. All these are. And what about the arms?
I sculpted them in Blender.
And where are the arms from? Oh, sorry. You just said you made the arms. You sculpted
I sculpted them. Got it. When I commit to doing the figure, I will figure out, is it easier for me to modify an existing head, repaint an existing head, or go ahead and do the whole route and sculpt it from scratch in Blender and then print it, 3D print it. Now the back of it is that 5-minute epoxy. And I did that on a live with Curtis. I finished that back piece.
Love it. It's actually, were you at all inspired by or taking notes from Clawful? Some of the Clawful designs have a similar sort of back piece.
Just general.
Not at all taken away.
Okay. Yeah, crustaceans in general. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, one of the first things that I do when I'm going to make something is I build a reference folder.
Nice.
And, if
all your images,
if 80 people say, oh my gosh, that looks just like Clawful, then the issue isn't in them, it's in me. I didn't make it my own enough. Or Clawful has an identity and a stamp on that look that you significantly deviate from in order for you to count as something different. And you have to learn, when is when, which one is which. Or just not be bothered by it.
I mean, I didn't mean to obviously take away from it.
It never has. It's just yeah, it's a carapace. Clawful has a carapace. There's not a lot of action figures that do. So if you sculpt an action figure with a carapace, he's going to get compared to Clawful. So
as a highly talented sculptor and like everything, painter, all of this kind of stuff, creature maker, creature designer, what's your take on I mean, whatever, I'm just gonna ask it. Give us your thoughts on Four Horsemen's sculpts and designs. I know
they're
the
amazing.
answer, but
They're amazing.
yeah, I figured, but like, yeah, where do you sort of see their work, or how do you see your work? Probably a better way to say it.
Okay, boy, I'm gonna go back to sculpting masks, because I'll with the, you sculpt an orc, it can be a gargoyle, it can be a yeti, it can be a demon, it can be a Krampus, you know, from that one face sculpt.
Yep.
Sometimes you can genericify your sculpture so it can be used in a bunch of different ways.
Yep.
And that's a detriment, you know. So I got into a kick of where I want to sculpt the quintessential witch, where it's so witch-like it can't be used for anything else. And what I appreciate about the Four Horsemen is they sculpt the quintessential of whatever it is that they're doing. Hello, TV3 Trooper. They sculpt the quintessential of whatever it is they're doing. And that's their focus. Yep. And I can tell that they're not thinking down the road on that. They might be on the armor pieces. They might be on, you know, this leg is different or whatever. But the sculpts themselves are amazing. And they're really good at, they look like they belong in the same world, even if they're different races, which is tough to do, and they nail it.
Yes. Yeah, you're building a world. I obviously I highly appreciate their work, and you know, it's not just a shill thing or whatever. I'm a fan because like when I see particularly talented artists, and that's where I see in them and their work, I just appreciate it. So I love to ask other talented artists like yourself who are working with their figures.
We were talking last night on the Clubhouse about design and how you really want to be like one step over the line. If you give people what they want, then you're never going to expand. That's a guy I just held up. You're never going to expand. You're never going to grow, because you're always going to regurgitate and recycle what is known. You have to go one step past the line of known design to be a little bit innovative. And then, but if you're 2 or 3 steps, you're too out there and no one likes your stuff. So it has to move kind of in increments. And what I admire about the Horsemen the most, I think, is their bravery. Because the Mouse King came out of nowhere. Nobody wanted a Mouse King. Nobody said, boy, I really hope they do a Mouse King. But they don't care what you want. They gave you the Mouse King because the Mouse King is awesome. And they have decided that that's the new awesome. It's the Mouse King. And it turns out they're right. You know, how many figure lists did that make the top 20 figures? But how many people were crying when it wasn't whatever they thought it was going to be next? You know?
Yeah, such a fun game, but you're absolutely right, and I respect that about them. Like, you know, it's like there's a thing that we want to do, we think it's great, we're gonna put our work at it, and yeah, people understand that it gets built, and we all, you know, if you build it, they will come, kind of a thing. We're like, yeah, you're right, this is the new awesome.
There has to be this is the world I'm creating, and someone is going to pipe up and say, but I want this. I want a world like this. And then you have to say, did I stutter? This is the world that I'm creating. If you want to create a world, more power to you. You know, and what Mythic Legions does is, you want to create your own world, I'm giving you parts, dude. Have at it.
Lego.
Yeah,
it's really good looking, high fidelity, high definition Lego. And you know, sometimes the awesome isn't for everyone. What's up? TD3 Trooper is pointing out Mouse or King or Rat King has a history to it. and or has a history too, maybe TOO. And K-Mac is saying, I didn't like the Mouse King. Totally get it. Like the
now
awesome.
that he's here, we can make a werewolf. Now that he's here, you know, we can make a Wendigo, because those parts, that body, we never had a naked hairy body before, and now we do. I mean, I've had one my whole life. But
yeah, I mean, we're going to be getting it between that and the Jersey Devil. Yeah, you're right. That it becomes a launching point for the next thing. I do want to say that this is cool. I just realized that this was another one of those Toy Biz cave trolls.
Yeah,
we have a cave troll. Now we're back to the Mythic Legions troll, and holy crap, you took what is it? Does this guy have a name? One of the things in Snake Mountain. Did they ever name it?
It does it somewhere, but it never did.
They're like different gods, right?
It was the face on Snake Mountain, is what it was.
Right. Yeah. And he's excellent, and I love the addition of the crystals on his back.
I put the crystals on his back because I thought there was some energy there that he was harvesting. To me, so in one of the Dresden Files books, right?
Oh wow!
He is on an island that is housing all of these demons and entities, and he links up with the genus loci of that island, meaning its soul, basically. And to me, this is the genus loci of Snake Mountain. Everything blending in those crystals is that 5-minute epoxy. The head is one that's commercially available, but I did modify the sculpt in Blender because I always thought the one on Snake Mountain looked too much like Gonzo from the Muppets.
It does. It totally does.
I did un-Gonzo-ify him a little bit.
It's totally a Muppet look.
Yeah. And then if you scroll, can you zoom in at all? I don't know if you can or not.
What do you want to zoom in on?
Zoom in on his necklace and belt. That is Skeletor's Havoc staff, flattened out.
And this is the other.
And that is the gate. That's the gates of Snake Mountain, is that wolf. So I took those and modified them in Blender to become those things.
The gates of Snake Mountain and the actual old microphone as well, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's on the gate and it's the microphone head.
Is there another head that I read? So there's the wolf. There's this thing. Was there another creature embedded in Snake Mountain besides the obvious dragon?
Oh, there's spiders. There's a couple.
There wasn't another big one like this guy?
There's 2 heads. There's 2 heads.
What's the other head? I'm trying to remember it now.
Just another monster. Like they're pretty generic.
You get. Is that something we might make someday?
It's possible. It's possible.
Okay. And then the last stroll that I love, because this right here is my childhood. I'm assuming it's yours too. That Harryhausen Cyclops, yeah.
Yep. And that is one of the Mythic Legion's troll heads. That's a Cyclops head. But I sculpted in 5-minute epoxy all over it. Like that's their eye. But then everything else I have sculpted and dremeled within an inch of its life in order to make it be the Harryhausen Cyclops.
It's really cool. And cool to see it on a big, bulky body. And, I mean, I got this and a lot of the other trolls largely because of that Cyclops head that they gave that is also given off of a lot of Harryhausen as well. That's definitely a favorite of the folks, the creatives at the studio too. They grew up on that stuff as well. All right, so this stuff is great, but I know that you were busy, like I said earlier, with Curtis doing.
Earlier this morning, I was working on customs.
Just this morning, you were working on this. You were working on a Kraken head that you were painting on the show to fit onto this modified Mythic Legion's upper torso, put onto this Mattel Jurassic Park or World, whatever. What do they call those things? I forgot what they call those things.
Mosasaurus.
What's going on here? Mosasaurus. Yeah. Sinbad. Yes.
Because that looks like I was playing with the giant mosasaur, and I'm like, this is like the bottom end of the Kraken, So when Perry is a customizer of Mythic Legion's trolls. He does a lot of really cool trolls. And he did a Kraken, and he had it at Mythic Legions, and I loved it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do a Kraken. So I sculpted that head in Blender and printed it out. And then this guy is actually right here.
I should say, for folks unfamiliar, this is specifically the old school Harryhausen as well. Clash of the Titans. 80s Clash of the Titans Kraken.
So he had a piece that he 3D printed. I bought the toy because all of this work is done for me. Really.
So good.
You know, and then this is all 5-minute epoxy that I took off the waist of the troll, the hips, and the hips are embedded in here. I cut the head off, embedded the hips, blended it in, and then so now the torso fits down on top of the body. I
see.
So
very cool. Good old Harry as
he has 4 arms, so I'm going to actually split the arm here, and 2 arms will come out of this for his arms. And I'm actually sculpting and molding them in latex because they have to move good, and I'm not up at 3D printing yet to really have those mechanics down.
So are you going to create like an underwire frame in the latex? Is that the idea?
I'm going to use lock line.
Okay.
You know what that is?
That's the same as it's the same as the spider, the sectar spider thing, right?
Yeah, I'll show you a piece. I got a piece right over here.
Man, this design is so classic from my childhood, and it's like totally not. I mean, it's a Kraken, I suppose. Oftentimes, Kraken are sort of like Cthulhu or octopus.
Yeah, they're supposed to be giant squid, Yeah, but this
cool
Kraken looked very different. This is lock line, and this is, I think, 1/2-inch lock line.
Yeah, but tripods and stuff. I have a tripod like that.
It'll hold its own shape.
Yep,
really well. So this is what I want to make those noodly arms inside, but I've got to sculpt the outside. So that's in process.
So good. Hey, what's this right here? This orange thing.
That is from Monsterverse, not Masterverse, but Monsterverse. They call this creature Skyla.
Oh, that's right. Yes. It's Scylla. But
Scylla.
Yes, it looks like with Skyla with a C. Yeah. Like Scylla in the Charybdis.
And exactly. From mythology.
Reference.
And I'm going to use this
and the police, just to be clear.
All right.
Sorry, it's a police joke. But yes.
I'm going to turn this into like a grider type creature, because this is where a torso can attach.
What do you call it? A grider?
Drider, D-R-I-D-E-R.
Oh, Drider. Gotcha. Yeah.
From Dungeons and Dragons. Menzo Baranathan. What's that?
There was one in Witcher.
In Witcher, boy, it was something.
It might not be a Drider. It was like a woman that was like a spider type thing.
Right. Yeah. And they pop up in so many different cultures. So that's why Evelyn is next to here. This little bit here, that's the head, will become an attachment point for her waist.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's a great size. For the longest time, I had like one of those giant gremlins. I ended up selling it to. Did I sell it to Joe? I think I sold it to Joe Gonzalez. The big gremlin spider thing.
Yeah, I love those
because I thought I would do something with it, and I was like, no, it's just I sold it last year at the Mythic Meetup. Anyway, this is cool, man. And I saw you start on it and finish it, and then you were done with that, and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, and then you moved on to UCLA the Mott. Sorry, I grew up in LA, and Alex Toth. I don't know if he named it or not. Alex Toth. What am I saying? Was it Alex Toth or was it Kirby? Whoever did the designs for,
I think Kirby.
Thundar. Okay.
Kirby
named it after UCLA. UCLA.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
UCLA the Mott. And so this is a cool sculpt. This was something you found someone else do?
I bought this at Legion's Con this year.
Gotcha.
I go to Legion's Con with a list, right? And from that list, that is everything that I need to make. So if I can find parts for it, I'll pick them up.
And so was this meant to be a nuclear? It's very different.
Yeah,
but
it is. Cool. It is. I think so.
It was. No, I mean, when they designed it. Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool
thing. It's really close. I mean, the ears are much pointier and the head isn't as segmented as I would have made it if I sculpted it. But I'm going to put him on this saber-tooth body, which is a Diamond Select saber-tooth.
Okay. Yeah, so he's bigger. That's right.
And I already, took off this bit and filled in the holes where that attached. And I sanded off his neck stump so this fits.
Oops.
Now.
Hold on. I maximized the wrong thing. Oh yeah, look at that. So he has the stature of an Ukla the Ma.
I got a little work to do on his feet, but the body's almost the right color when I get all this other paint off.
Doesn't matter. Like we said with Too Bad. You don't care.
It's close enough. Makes me happy.
I love this one, man. I really love this.
Better than perfect.
Yes. I love Thundar, and I'm in the mode where I think, a lot of people would probably want to see a true like on model kind of Ukla. I love this thing when people kind of run it through their creative filter. So
well, this is much more realistic, than it was a cartoon, and it really didn't exist in any other format or media beyond that. So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, man. Well, you know what? We could sit here and really just talk about your stuff all day, but I do want to talk a little bit like of we traffic here in toy ephemera and nerd ephemera. There's a couple things that have been happening lately that I feel like are totally right up your alley.
Indeed.
Let's talk some cryptids, man, because as we were talking about, let me bring it up. Wait, why is this not my account? Whatever. I don't need to log in. Let me just show the cryptoids. So I know I'm trying to remember. Oh, I was on GDL and Craig was on as well, and he started talking about cryptoids. And I know you were letting him know. It's like, hey, I'm running the Cryptoid Museum you were talking about earlier, and I sent him your info. I don't know if he ever got in touch with you, but it seems like a match made in heaven in terms of like
these are toys I want to carry in the North American Cryptid Museum's gift shop.
Yes,
yes. Everybody has a favorite cryptid.
Let's bust him out. Did he ever follow up? He probably didn't. Did he ever follow up?
Not yet, but I'm sure he's a very busy guy.
Come on, Craig. I'll hit him up again. But he asked about it. He's like, yeah, please give me his info. Give me Alan's info. But they are very busy. I don't know if you've looked at the Kickstarter yet, but for those who aren't familiar, it's there. This is the YHS podcast. Yes, have some, and oh my gosh, am I remembering what their show is called? But it's essentially Craig, Jacob, and oh my God, Adam, help me out.
Nerd Dad something.
No, I'm Abby. Sorry, God, I forget the woman. March, International Women's Month too. I suck. But so they came up with this idea. Jacob really had like this itch of like I want to. Well, they all I think want to do something different and want to be able to like create toys. But I think Jacob is very much a creature guy. He's a huge kaiju fan and all of these things. And so they came up with a line of creatures that are based on cryptids, right? Cryptozoology, which I love, like these random, unexplained, mysterious creatures that possibly lurk on our Earth. And they, took the big famous ones like your Bigfoot, your Yeti, your Mothman, and of course gray aliens and the squonk, less known, but the reptile people as well. And they kind of created a world around it. And it's very 90s coded, 90s toy coded, which is YHS's thing. They're very much into like nostalgic toy collecting built on these IP that they love. So essentially they're creating an IP that feels like something that could have been in the 90s, and that's cryptoids. But they've kind of got like a very 90s green save the earth element, because the cryptids are essentially these protectors of the earth, and they're dealing with forces like, the lizard people who have, hide among us and, ruin the earth with their crazy billionaire schemes and not caring more about profits than the planet. And there you go. So as a cryptid guy, you've seen this. What are you thinking? Where are you at with cryptoids?
Well, I'm a backer, so yeah. Yeah, I mean they're very cool. It's always been up my alley. Bigfoot, Yeti.
Yep.
When I was a kid, I loved our library time as a young kid, you know, and there were so many cool books on Bigfoot and the Yeti, and you know that's what I looked at. That's what I love. These are very interesting takes on them. I don't mind the addition and the you know the way they've changed things up. I think Mothman is probably one of the most popular cryptids in the country right now, second to Bigfoot. And then, you know, I'm surprised they don't have a Fresno Nightcrawler, but I guess next wave they will. He's a very popular cryptid right now.
I think so. Real quick, he's yes, it's popular, but isn't it always because it's just so weird?
It's like a pair of pants. That's all it is.
It's more of like an ironic interest, I think, in cryptids, but still, it's you're right. It is very popular.
You know, this is kind of coming off of. Are you familiar with SCPs?
Online. Yeah,
yes.
my kids tell me about this. Yes.
Okay. So SCP is, I think it's survey, contain, protect, I think is what it stands for.
And they're all numbered, and there's all these things that people
exactly. But they're all different monster type things that they built these stories around, and it's an open universe where people can add their own stories and stuff to it. And that had such a big movement 10, 15 years ago, you know, that now that's kind of moved out of people's lives, but it opened up this love of mystery and a little bit of horror and storytelling. And I think that cryptids, which have kind of always existed, are really getting a time in the sun in the wake of that wave, you know. Cryptids are very popular right now. I've always loved them, and that's why I'm doing the museum.
Love it. Yeah, and I think that's really cool, and I think you're smart to do that. I don't know if you saw, but I brought this up from Brian Brink. He was saying he thinks that the YHS folks, they said they came up with the idea after visiting a cryptid museum on the way home from a con trip, and I think that's actually what Craig was sharing that night. And I remember, and I think I pointed out on the show, like, hey, this guy's doing a cryptid museum. Yep. So I think it's a match made in heaven. I just wanted to quickly highlight it. I think it's a really cool idea. Truthfully, like, especially for someone like you, I think who's really into, you're building a whole world around the origin scale. This stuff slots right in beautifully with that.
It does.
Plus, again, there's the possibility of carrying this sort of thing in your museum and sort of showing, like, marrying your love for toys with the cryptid thing.
And, I love that they're linking them together in a lore, and they're also making them the good guys, which I like.
Yes. It's Godzilla, right? So that's the thing. Yeah. So I know Jacob's really big into kaiju. But when I look at this, I mean, just visually, you look at this logo, you're getting a mix of both Captain Planet and Swamp Thing and Toxic Avenger kind of mashed in there, right? And then you've got, like you said, these monsters that from a more basic writer maybe or would go, oh yeah, these are the bad guys and we got to go hunt them down. But no, these are the heroes who have been defending Earth. And I really enjoy what they're doing. I look at this art and I think it's great. The figures themselves, like, honestly, like, I'm kind of into the photoreal thing, like you showed with your Ookla.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh, I'm going to support it somehow. I'm going to figure out something out of these because I think it's a really cool idea. And
there are definitely more artistic interpretations. Yeah. They're a touch on the cartoony side, but
as they should be, because they want to create their own IP. So this is the Cryptoids take on Bigfoot. Totally get it.
They're fitting into a window. Yes.
But look at the jackalope right there and the squawk. Oh yeah. Very cool, man. The jackalope was a thing among, like, my friends in bands who would tour, like, DIY hardcore bands. They just go around and come home with a jackalope. Bring home.
So we do. There's a lot of bus tours for haunted attractions because the owners will get together in off season, and we might go. So there's haunted attraction tours. You know, there's every haunt show. There's like 5 or 6 had a bus tour around it to go to 2 or 3 different haunted houses, and often I'm a bus captain, and while we're driving through whatever area, I tell them what cryptids to look out for in the area that we're in. You know, it might be melon heads, it might be Bigfoot, it might be Thunderbirds. You never know, depending upon where you're at, what cryptids you could see along the way on the road trip.
I love it. That's so cool. And I love this kind of stuff too. I love it when a company breaks down how the thing's articulated. The funny thing is they've got so many different body types just in this first wave that like, this is how this one works. Don't know, you know, you got to take a look at how the Mothman looks, but shout out to their creative team. And cause the marketing prior was great. They kind of got a whole like advertising thing going on with like mysterious little videos, broadcasts, like we're getting a glimpse into the secret history of these cryptids, but also this, I don't know, just a little dorky little details of like hair start here, and you can count out the points of articulation 1, 2, and like an old little puzzle thing. But here's the scale of them. So if this looks like something that you might be interested, whether you're into creatures or into just action figures and you like the 90s vibe of all things, definitely check it out. They just started. They like huge spike in the beginning, and now they're in this sort of moment. So they'll hit it, they'll finish, and they've got great designs. I love this Mothman design, love the colors, love the accessory.
Well, and if you go back down, you go back up to Mothman where it says the Prophet.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
that's cool. Like he's got a role, he's got a job that he fills. You know, he's one of those 11 archetypes of building a group.
Yep, they've absolutely done a great job at sort of crafting the lore and bringing these characters together. Like you said, they're a team. It's a superhero team, but it's kaiju. They're saving, like there's so many good elements that I think hits on the things that I know these guys love and other people will love. So it's great. And as I started in the beginning, I love it when a creature is the hero. I've just always been into that, like the true read of Frankenstein's creature, you know, or at least.
And the Bigfoot is a 7-inch figure. Like that's a good size figure.
These are big dudes. Again, we saw the scale. I think the reuse here is really cool. It's a very unique take on the Tibetan Yeti, and I love that he has his own sort of gear, like wearing the skull of something else. Shamany, got to go with it. Look at that, all shadow Mothman, very cool.
That's my Mothman right there. That's a good.
That's the one. And then they've got the whole lore with the aliens going on. That, you know, of course, they had to put their take on it to be able to put that TM on it. So they've got a lot of cool things going on. I highly encourage folks to go check it out. Follow the campaign, even if you're, you know, not necessarily going to buy anything. Go, just let people know about it. Share that's out, because this is definitely a lot of people's jams. They've got really creative like tiers too, where if you're rolling in it and you want to be a part, you can drop a huge chunk of change, $2,500, and create a character. So there's a lot of really good things going on. Highly recommend it. But, you know, and I'm not at all, I don't mean to take away at all from their stuff, because it is great. But here's the but. You know how I collect. You know the kinds of stuff I'm into right now. So this is kind of more my Bigfoot.
I don't have mine yet.
Okay, well, sorry, but it's coming. And I got to tell you, it's fantastic, friend. This is an amazing freaking figure. It's a big, chunky thing. You know, you have this guy. You have the I was gonna say too bad, but you can see the sort of height difference and everything. Yeah. But hey, shout out for the proper big feet too.
Yeah, that's great,
man. But they
even has a semi-divergent big toe. Nice. Yeah.
And it moves really well out of the box. Always, you know, consider heating your stuff up. But I will say, I have the Loose Collector Wolf. Did you ever pick one of those up too?
Yep, I got one.
You did. So mine was really tough to kind of get out of the box and move. So I had to spend a lot of time heating it up, and eventually it's good to go. This one, just out of the box, these elbows and knees work really well. The toes work great. The arms. It's just this area right here that I had to heat up a little bit to really loosen up the waist in particular. This was good, but man, it is great. But that head sculpt, the sort of like stoic, what I imagine a Bigfoot to be based on lore and footage of him more lumbering rather than, you know, running around all.
When I sculpted my Bigfoot head for the museum, I looked at reports and sketches, and like his lips are blue because he's often found raiding blueberry patches. So he's got blue stained lips from the blueberries. So
okay.
Yeah, but it's details.
Yeah, what did you, and I know you've seen it as a person who has created a Bigfoot or two in your life. What's your opinion on the or appreciation maybe? What ways do you appreciate this sculpt?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's got the right brow. It's got a really nice profile. I wish it had a little bit more of a pronounced cranial ridge, because a lot of Bigfoots have a little bit more of a cone up there. Yeah, really cool stuff. Yeah, and the head is nice. You know, I think a baboon is just the scariest animals out there. And those big teeth remind me of baboon fangs.
So this thing is great. By the way, I should probably say, so it's by Loose Collector. If folks are unfamiliar, Loose Collector, shout out of the Philippines. Fantastic. Started in this game, was one of these like old school, long, well-renowned customizers. And then eventually was just like, I'm going to create toys. And has been doing a lot of cool toys, you know, kind of your typical fare, if you will. Superheroes. Did a lot of like women that were like, you know, 6-inch figures. And then they moved over to the dudes, and, you know, they did one of the Rocketeer that came with Betty Page. They have a dope Grendel that's out, if I'm remembering. No, wait, I'm mixing them up. Anyway, but the creatures thing, that got my ears perked up. They did a hide back in the day that I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
But then when they did the wolves, all about it. Here's Wade's review comparing the wolf and the side by side of the wolf and the Bigfoot. But man, they have been on, they've been on this cryptid kick. And so they've got this coming out soon. We've seen this sort of trickle out. This is the next one coming, which is, what is it called? Are you familiar with this thing? The Dogmen?
Yeah, the Michigan sort of like, or the Beast of Bray Road. Yep. Michigan, Wisconsin, very popular cryptid. But Dogmen get sighted all over the country.
Yes, and there's a lot of sort of indigenous lore to
and they have for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And this notion of like they shed their human outer skin, and underneath is the dog man. And I think there's something about the design of this, the sinewy muscles and everything that communicates that. I love a good storytelling sculpt.
Yeah, we made a skinwalker for the Cryptid Museum.
Ooh, okay.
That one we did like it's real, like almost bloody, patchy, different furs and things on it, because it's changing its skin. Skinwalkers are people who are taking a shape to go do some bad stuff, but and Dogmen are a little different. But what a beautiful sculpt that is,
and really cool. And the posability looks fantastic. So the more and more that he and the company Loose Collector keep doing, it's just like every new piece is all sorts of really great R&D, building off what they did before.
I just look at for a moment. I can still hear him just grabbing a drink.
All good. Go do your thing. But yeah, these things are looking really great. And just another entry into their cryptids. So the Crypt is the name of the line. I can't say enough good things about this guy. I will say that I wish I got the other two. So they used this buck to do a Sasquatch, sorry, a Yeti, and a skookum.
Yep.
And man, I wanted those, and I'm glad I didn't get them because now they are sold out, and that allows me to save some money. So I'm sure I can still get them somewhere, but I'm gonna resist. But I will say this is a damn good figure, and I just really love the way it's built. I love the way it looks, the way it's painted. I have nothing negative to say about this thing.
It is beautiful. So are you ready for an obscure Yeti fact?
Yeah, go for it.
There are 3 types of Yeti.
Okay.
It is the Yeti. In their language, it's YEH-TEH, Yeti.
Okay.
But that we just say Yeti. And there is a Mete, which is about 5 or 6 feet tall, which is at the bottom of the mountain in the forest.
Okay.
And then the Yeti is in the middle of the mountains. And at the very top of the mountains, the highest elevations, there's a Dzute, DZU-TEH. And those are 12 to 15 feet tall. And they have horns on their heads. So we think of Yeti as the only thing over there, but the people who are over there all the time, the Sherpas, say, oh no, there's 3 different types, which is fascinating.
Interesting.
So that with the horns is more of a Dzute, but based on its size, that's what it should be.
Wow. Okay. And that's what, that's what this is. There is a Yeti figure that has multiple heads, one that doesn't have the horns and one with the horns. So I think probably Loose Collector was doing their research. But this is Jay Hernandez's review, and you can kind of see the cool poses you can get out of them too. Not that we need a Yeti that can do a McFarlane Spider-Man pose, but we got one now, whether you like it or not.
How can you not respect a creature like that? Like, look at how cool that monster is,
100%. I do wish they went a little bit with the blue that I saw in the original takes. Like that felt very what do you call this? Felt very Disneyland Matterhorn.
Yeah.
But still, and this is the Skookum, and this is Carlos' review. The other one was Jay Hernandez and Wade. Shout out to those guys.
I think I like the Skookum the best.
I really wish I had him, and I said what I said, and here comes Brian Brink trying to get behind me, Satan. No, but and mainly I'll tell you why. Okay. The main reason I want to resist is because also this week we finally got the pre-order in for another big toy. And that's this. Let's switch gears and probably close out here.
I have 2 of those. I have the Frost, the Frost with armor, and the regular without.
Okay. So what we are talking about, folks, is Fury Toys, the same company that brought you the seasonal turtles, right? Autumn, fall, or no, what am I saying? Autumn, summer, and spring. Those smaller ones, and then they came out with what they called the Master, essentially Splinter. Those stylized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think they now use the name Rage Toys for those, for their sort of turtle stuff.
These guys have changed their name a bunch.
Not as much as people say, but yes, it's essentially Fury and Rage. There's no, I think people go, wait, are they Medi? Are they? So far, it seems like no, those are they. There are some connections, perhaps, and they have maybe similar sculptors or whatever. What's that?
Is Medi different than them?
That's my understanding. Medi is different, and Medi is also has shown prototypes of the same tiger, because this tiger is from World of Warcraft, that thing in the box that you were talking about earlier. So this design is based on a creature in there, but they've kind of Fury has sort of pitched it more as like a Mayan thing, is sort of where they're going with it, which WoW kind of connects to as well culturally. But here are all the features. It's got this armor that you can take on and off. It's got movable eyes. It's got LED lights on these sort of jewel things going on. The jaws articulated for this head, might be for the other head as well. and of course the posability. And I don't think they have it in the 5K, but they have posted sort of how it's built, and there's a full-on under armature essentially, or like a skeleton underneath. That's not unlike the what did you call them? The lock. What is that thing called? The lock.
Oh, lock line. Yeah.
Lock line. Yeah, it's built similarly where it's a bunch of joints and, like an action figure would be. But they started with the skeleton, which then presumably allows for like the.
I wonder how this compares size-wise to Bodvar the bear.
It's gonna be roughly. Oh, there it is. This is what I was referring to. Sorry, I didn't realize it was here. So you can check out the sort of the internal joint structure. So I wonder what's on the outside, what the material is, what the durometer is of the plastic, if it's softer sort of skin, like a Storm Collectibles type thing, or something else.
Well, that the tabs on that, the tabs on your skeleton tell me that it's kind of inserted so that piece can't rotate interiorly.
Yes. So like this is going to hold that torso.
That's been inserted into a softer plastic of some kind.
Right.
Probably a urethane.
Right. And I don't know how soft. I mean, there's different degrees, right?
Yeah.
So it might not be necessarily like a mithril action granite. Yeah, that's what they're called now.
That or gorgeous head on that tiger.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
It's still stylized. It's still like, it's not 100% photoreal, but so there's a clear art direction to it. I think the mascara is a little heavy for me, but it's still cool looking. But wow, what a thing. And so they've got their own lore or whatever that they're trying to tie. And I say whatever. I don't mean to belittle it, but I'm
their lore means this totally isn't a ripoff of a WoW tiger. This is
exactly. This is don't sue me.
Yeah. Please do not sue us.
Yeah. And so as far as this thing goes, it's a little longer. It's about the same height as Bodvar, and they have measurements and stuff. But look at the movement on this thing, man. That's what I really appreciate. There is one note. I've heard other people say this note as well, and I agree. I wish it had a stoic face. Something sort of like beyond this one. Especially when you've got like they're showing off so these poses all look great. The reality is the face especially almost dictates the posing, right? So when you got him here, it's like
there's rage in the face.
Yeah, he's got bad dreams, man. It's like having a really bad dream, or you walked up and you woke him up and he's gonna bite you.
I wanted, and we were talking about this on the clubhouse last night. I really wanted. We haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm kind of in the middle of making a Snake Mountain that is 17 feet wide and 11 feet tall. Okay. I wish sitting over there. It's a little more than half completed, I think. But for the throne room, I wanted Panther to be at rest. I want him sleeping on a carpet. So I made one. Let me grab him and I'll show you what I had to do.
Man, what an incredible toy, though. I am so excited about this guy. Folks, I was like, I got to try and just get one. And I did a couple of texts back and forth with my brother about it. And by like the second text, I was like, yep, too late. I ordered both. Which is why I'm not getting a Skookum. Oh, cool. It's so kitty-like, the face.
That's sculpted. Different thing. This is a Origins Panther that I cut up, reposed, and 5-minute epoxied back. Fixed all the joints and stuff. And now he's a one piece, but he's sleeping at rest, at peace. He'll be in the throne room. So this is Sleepy Panther.
Fantastic. And he's going to be on a rug?
Yep.
Have you designed the rug yet?
Yep. I haven't made it yet, but I've designed it.
And you don't have to say, but it would be neat if it was a green dead tiger.
Would be neat, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yep. I still
gotta go there. But yeah, Sleepy Panther.
But this tiger thing, man, it looks like just a really great toy. I'm a sucker for the steeds. I've got D20's wolf, D20's boar. I had their griffin on sale. I don't think that thing is ever going to get done. I'm pretty sure they've sort of like quietly canceled it.
Are you familiar with the old Imperial toys?
Yes.
The out of Hong Kong.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a whole line, and I've got them sitting over there, of like dragons and a griffin and monsters for He-Man to ride, basically.
Great. They looked so cool as a kid.
I freaking love them. When I was a kid, I wanted to move to Hong Kong because everything that I loved, if I picked it up and I looked at the bottom of it, it said made in Hong Kong. So I thought if I walked through the streets of Hong Kong, it's just toy factory after toy factory, you know.
They had like the rhino looking thing. They had some funky dragon looking things that looked like stuff on old ancient maps, you know?
Yeah,
the kind of sea creatures you'd see on those maps.
Here's the two easiest to get. This guy has a saddle.
Yes. I remember this one.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, tell me that's not right out of those old, globes.
Yeah.
We had one that was a bar. Oh, look at that.
And that's the saddle that came with them.
Those are super
spiked
cool.
tail like a dino. Like, that's
nothing
cool.
To do with Master of the Universe.
No, yeah, completely separate.
But yeah, well, the
same song, right? Wow.
This thing is cool, man. All the poses, and here's the best part, folks. If you didn't realize you needed a tiger in your life, we were talking about Bodvar. I think Bodvar is going for like 115 or so on retail. It was cheaper for those of us who got him on pre-order directly from Four Horsemen. This thing is $80, $79 for a armorless tiger. Another $12, and you've got yourself at $92 the full-on armored thing.
Similar price point, in all honesty.
Oh yeah, between the bear for sure. Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily comparing except that at retail. Bodvar's actually at 110, right? Yeah, but it's not. I wasn't necessarily comparing, but I'm just saying I think this is a great deal. It's like super articulated. The sculpt looks on point. If you know anything about Fury Toys stuff, they do really good work.
I would really consider this at $200.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
$100, it's a no-brainer.
Under 100, dude.
How much joy will it bring me? It'll bring me $100 of joy.
Yeah, for sure. And then some.
I'm gonna make one purple. And you know what I did? I ordered. That's what the red one is for. Because that color is going to be easier to turn purple. I thought ahead this time.
Help me with that. Why is this one going to be easier to turn purple than the white one? Wouldn't white
a darker tone? It'll probably take only like 2 coats, other than and if something scratches off a little bit, I don't want white to show through.
Sure. Okay. And then what are you going to do with the other one? Keep it as is?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I have a Yeti Beast Man that I think is going to ride that tiger.
I was wondering what this guy will look like on that tiger, but yes.
Oh my gosh!
And the nice thing is, I can do that. I can find out.
That's right.
Answers. Alan, dude, thank you so much for hanging out today, man, and sort of talking about all your stuff. Got to get you back. We could talk more about the Snake Mountain and everything else. I know you've expressed, like when we're watching, I know you pop up every now and then. You're like, what's that? So I'm glad that you were able to come on this side of the show and share like everything from your attitude.
I appreciate you having me on. This type of show I love because you're just exposing people to new artists, and to new ideas and concepts. So honored to be on. Thank you, sir.
Right on, man. So you go get some sleep because you've been working 70 hours and you've been streaming all day. But thank you for hanging out, folks. If you want to follow, like he's got obviously a lot of things to follow. Down by his left shoulder there, what looks like his left shoulder to you. I don't know what the mirror's doing.
Yeah,
there's a cute
Sword Beast Studios. You know what? do you have access to that folder that I sent you? Can I show you real quick?
Yeah, that's right. The Google Drive thing. Yeah, let's do it.
I want to show the min-max set.
All right, you're gonna have to help me here. So under the sets,
in sets, there's another folder called min-max.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
is there particular
is a bunch of YouTubers who are weapon influencers, whether it's swords, as Instructor Bensei, there's Blumenek, who's an archer, and they're all these big YouTube. They have like 7 million subscribers between them, and they came together to play D&D, and they actually came to Dark Hour to play it, and we built their set. So that's what those pictures are. Is that set? Okay. So that's some of
show the pictures right now. Let me show the pictures, but just so you know, if the video for whatever reason the link isn't working for me, there's the code. Okay, cool. Here we go. Let's do this.
That's just one piece on the wall. That's a skeleton. Half of it's a dungeon.
I was just gonna say, so the setup, you kind of said it, but I just want to make sure I got it. They're doing essentially like LARPing in the set that you built.
But it's live.
But
they're live playing.
But they're in it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like literally life size in this set that you've built.
Right. And they're in their costume, and
And so they're gonna are they doing video and we get to watch it?
Yeah, actually the first episode's already out. Min-max, that first episode is already out, and
cool.
They did a Kickstarter to get their stuff together. And again, it's one of those Kickstarters that just went crazy, and they raised like $150,000. Pretty close. That's a full size. It looks like a Dio, but it's a full size door. That's EVA foam for all the iron work on it. The keys by the door are 3D printed. So there's a dungeon side, and then there is the DM side, which is more like a wizard's tower. And in between the two, it's like the DM is speaking the dungeon world into existence. So it's overtaking his room as he talks. So
wow, very cool.
But this is
so did you get to watch them film at all and sort of engage with your stuff?
Yeah, I was around. The first episode is out, and episode drops every other Friday, I think it is. We built the D&D table. We built the set. This is their setup. Yeah.
So some of this has to be handled, and they're filming it. So some of this is like a different level of construction, I'm assuming, right? There are bits of these that.
Yeah, the jail cell in the corner is an actual jail cell where they could go in and out, and I wanted it to be okay. So if you look at that shelf, let's see all the pots. Being an old, I used to play more video games than I do now. Those pots are there because when Link would smash clay pots in order to find treasure, and to me that was very D&D, and that's why that has all these different clay pots. I could just picture the character smashing them to see what's in them. Yeah.
Awesome. And I don't want to spoil it, but yes. And I love there's a mimic in there as well.
Yeah, there's a mimic. There's Rad. There's a little pile of coins. That's the door. So you can look into the set there, but the door is open. That's the door on the DM side.
So this is sort of on their soundstage, essentially. You went to their location and built it.
No, this is in our haunt.
You said this was in your haunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
They came to me to play. They were going to build it in their studio, but they don't have a lot of room. I'm like, just do it here. So they all came here and played. It was cool.
Brandon Gash. Hey, look at this guy. What's up, guys? Happy Sunday to you. Really inspired by what I'm seeing. Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
Check out Alan's stuff, man. And Brandon, if you don't know, Alan is an amazingly talented sculptor himself, has made some toys, including from that company that you bought that Beast Man from, the Big Beast Man. Mondo. This is great, man. This is really, really, really cool. Again, you're kind of like all over the place, man. You're doing 5.5-inch customs, 112 customs, 1-to-1 spaces, dios, play sets.
It's world building, whether it's small or big.
Yeah.
I think video games is something that I have a lot of respect for because they have to build the whole world, everything you see. And in a haunted house, I have to do the same thing. I have to account for, I can put a physical wall there. What does that wall look like? I got to build that from the ground up. Yeah. And, that's part of this that I enjoy.
Man, you took us on a journey today. We started in the club with the bear dance, and we went to places, and we ended up in a dungeon. I love it. It's a good night. Hey, man, thank you again, Alan. I definitely, we got to figure out when you can come back here and highlight some more of your work. But yeah, and I'll keep trying.
Maybe if you do a Halloween episode, I can slide in.
Oh man, I got to get to Plano and check out the haunts today.
Come see us. Yeah, come see us.
I got to return.
Well, you can see some work near you. There's a haunt up there that I helped build at Fresno Fright Nights.
Fresno, okay.
Was
there anything in San Mateo County? No. Wasn't there something relatively closer to me?
Nope.
No, Fresno was the closest.
I did a lot of. I might have done some costumes for them, but not like big set builds.
Fresno's a trek, but it might be worth it. Go hang out with Thanos is in that area, and Skelevator.
Yep, Skelevator is.
Well, maybe we'll do that and check out what you did. How long is that thing going to be around?
Well, they'll open up again in September. So September and October.
Oh, so they're just going to use your thing. They're not changing it or anything. What you built is
no. Well, I'll do some updates for them this year, probably. Yeah.
So you're flying back out here to do some updates.
Yep. I'll let you know.
Well, we'll talk. All right, folks. This is the world that Alan Hops built over with his many endeavors. Check out that QR code. It'll take you to the link, and then probably in about an hour or so, I need to get up on the roof and do some stuff, but the links will be there. And you can go check out all his stuff, subscribe to his many YouTube channels, follow his many IG accounts, and go to his website. So Alan, you're the best.
Thank you.
I said, go get some rest. Go get some rest. I should have said this. For those of you who are expecting today to be with my buddy Marco, we had to do some adjustments. So here we are. And Marco's going to be a pre-record in a couple weeks when I will be down in Anaheim, California with Adam, highly articulated, selling some Animal Warriors of the Kingdom toys. So if you're in that area in Anaheim, WonderCon, a couple weeks, go there, hang out with me and Adam. And
thanks, everybody.
Sit on his phone. All right, folks. Alan, you're the best. Everybody, you're also the best. Have a great week. Be safe out there. The world is wild, but we're having fun with our toys while it lasts. All right. Playing some music and we're heading out. Bye, folks. Buddy, ending stream, music. Oh, for those who replay on the left, you can watch past episodes. On the right, you can see what's next on the channel.